Hello fellow makeup lovers, so for this single shadow Saturday, I'm going to be doing probably my most requested single shadow type video, which is my single shadow collection, which I have right here, lots and lots and lots of palettes of single shadows. So I wanted to go ahead and film this because right now, for the most part, I didn't kind of clean up and like put things in different places. It's just the way that they have been, but for the most part, I have them sorted by brands, and I've been unhappy with that for a really long time. I wanted to go ahead and do videos on like my really big collections, so I've done JD Glow, M Cosmetics isn't as big, but I did them, I did Looksy, I did Cindy Grace, and I'm going to film Davina tonight, so that tomorrow I'm going to try and do like some type of overhead type of camera setup to where I can show me organizing all my single shadows, because I think that's a very aesthetically pleasing video. I'm sure it won't be for everyone, but I love watching those kinds. So I want to completely redo how I organize these, and I want to do it by colors and things that inspire me rather than by brand, because by brand it's not inspiring. It's really not. So I figured before I organize, going through by brand is going to be the easiest, although I do have a few random like palettes that I've made and color stories that I wanted, which are in some of the smaller palettes here. So without any further ado, let's just go ahead and jump on in. So jumping right on in, the first palette that I have here is a little one from Tarte. They have a bunch of really cute Z palettes, and I got this camel one. I don't know, because I wanted to put green shadows in here, but I don't have green shadows in here right now. But this is actually probably one of the sturdiest. Like, it just feels so nice. I'm not normally a camo kind of person, but it was on clearance or something. I don't know. But here's the colors that I have in here right now, which there's missing one. This is M Cosmetics Lily is the shade that was in here, but this is my version of the Huda Beauty Neon Pink I duped, so I've kept it together for the most part. If you want to see what all those shadows are, I do actually have a video on that one. I'm going to try not to go super in-depth or else we will be here forever, but speaking of in-depth, here is an Adept palette. So all of the Adept palettes that I have like this are PR. This one's actually broken. I don't know if you can see here. I got this years ago and I've used it so much. So this is my really messy palette because I had a highlighter break in here. This is what it looks like. This was Sparrow Cosmetics Toxic, I believe, which is a really pretty green shift. Yeah. So that got everywhere. I really need to take the time and clean this out, which is something I plan on doing tomorrow. So this is kind of my like random hodgepodge of single shadows and highlighters. A lot of these highlighters are Sparrow Cosmetics. There's one from Clarity right here. This is Vanessa's Vanity. And then I've got some shades, like these are from Beauty Escape Cosmetics. These are my Colored Rain pigments. These are from Touch of Glam. These highlighters. These two are from Kitten Boss Cosmetics. I think that some of these shadows are from Sparrow. So this green one is Woodlands from Color Cosmetics. So this is, it's a mess. I've got my Makeup Slave shadows here. I need to clean it. Obviously, when I said I didn't clean these for this video, I was not kidding. Next, I have some little palettes from Itse, which is, I don't know, a brand on Belk. It was originally like $24 each, and I got them on clearance for like $2 each. So I went a little ham, but right now I just have my M Cosmetics in there, although I think I have two shadows missing. I kept feeling like something was off and something felt weird, and it's because I always sit on this side, and also when I do this, it's a little easier for me to look over at my monitor and make sure that everything's in frame and not focused. So this next one I have here is a little Davina holographic palette, which they just came out with these ones recently, and I just have some very random shadows in here from when I was duping out the Natasha Denona Mini Tropic palette. Alright, so this next little palette is a medium size Z palette, which for some reason I have quite a few Z palettes, but I don't think I've ever bought them myself. They've all just come into my life some way or another. So I can't remember how I got this one, but most of the shadows in here are Shade Beauty, except for the bottom row. These I think are all Makeup Geek, and then what are you? And that's Checkmate from ColourPop. But the top rows and the highlighter are all Shade Beauty. They sent them to me as PR, and they're pretty. They have a lot of like satiny type of shades. Alright, next I've got a little palette from Prime and Base Cosmetics. They've got like the little Taurus one. Then there's the back. I've got a little note for me. This was PR. And then there's a really giant mirror. This is one of the this is one of the palettes that I won't unfortunately get to add into my other shadows right now, just because these are not magnetized. So if I want to put them in with my other shadows, I'm going to have to put a magnet on them, and then I'm going to have to relabel them because the magnet will cover the label. So it's kind of a process. Definitely a little bit frustrating about their shadows that they do not come magnetized. I feel like that's very, very strange. So those are what they look like. I think I'm pretty sure I swatched these all out in a like swatch party type video. All right, next I have a little palette from Alwan. I believe that this is sold on Amazon. They reached out to me and asked me if they could send a palette. Whenever anyone says, can I send you an empty magnetic palette? I'm like, yes, I'll take it, because you can see obviously I have a slight obsession with single shadows, so I feel like I'm constantly buying more palettes. So this is what this one looks like right now. It's kind of a mess. It's just all over the place because this was a mixture of Touch of Glam and Luxie shadows, and it was one of my purchases. Gosh, I can't even remember. It was a palette purchase that I like curated myself a few months back, so I've just been using it and playing with it. I actually did my eye look today using like this top row here, which was fun. So just playing with these, getting to know them, getting to test the new Luxie formula, and those will, no, actually they're not going to go with the other Luxie shadows. I forgot, because I'm going to put them on their own, which also I have the Canon Cosmetics Antique shadows here, which I still haven't taken out yet and found them a home, but I'm gonna put them in their own palettes so that I can do a separate video on these. But it's just so many videos, so little time. All right, next I have this palette here, which is from Shop Missy. If you're looking for incredibly affordable single shadow empty palettes, then I definitely recommend Shop Missy. This one, like, look how pretty it is. Like, it's just so nice, and it has like a really nice mirror in there as well. I think this was like $6. I can't remember if I bought this one myself. I did receive PR once from Shop Missy, and then I've made, I believe, 2 orders myself, if I'm correct. So I've fallen in love with their palettes. I think that they're a really great option. And here's what's in there. This is all my Cindy Gray shadows, which I have a full video on that I did very recently. Next I have the Adept Cosmetics Love for All palette, which just looks like this. And it does also have a really nice mirror in it, and it's a very big palette. It holds 37mm pans pretty well. So these are all of my JD Glow shadows, which I absolutely adore these. I have a full video on them, but I want to do more looks with them because they're just so good. In fact, I was looking at these today, and a lot, not all of the shades, but a lot of the Galaxy Dust ones, wait, no, they're not called Galaxy Dust. Wait, are they called Galaxy? Yeah, they're the Galaxy shadows. Okay, sorry. The Galaxy ones remind me of the Divina ones that I absolutely love. I feel like they're pretty similar. Some of them are more duochrome, some of them are less. They're different tones. I wouldn't say there's repeats, but they're really good shadows, especially if you get them on sale, because they do sales like 40% off them every once in a while. So if you get them for like $4 each, it's ridiculous. They're so good. All right, so we'll talk about these really quickly, but I think I'm going to throw away all of these shadows that are in these 2 little palettes here. Oh gosh. So I found these at like the depths, the very bottom of my single shadow collection. I've got pressed glitter. I went through a phase where I was curious about them. So I've got this little Z palette here, which was the collaboration with BoxyCharm, which came in BoxyCharm 1 month. And then here's some pressed glitter. So this red one like completely came apart. That was from Texas House of Glitters or something. And then like these light pink ones were from Pinky Rose. And I just don't like pressed glitter, so I think I'm just gonna throw them all away. And then I also have another bundle from Texas House of Glitters, and this came with the Sephora by Z palette. It came with the bundle when I purchased it. So this is what it looks like. I haven't used this in a really long time. I don't know if you can tell, but it looks like there's straight up like some type of growth on this shade. It used to be bright orange, and it's like the color has completely changed, and it's a little bit old, so I feel quite uncomfortable even thinking about that. All right, next I have my Makeup Geek Z palette, which came with my very first Makeup Geek purchase. It was a bundle, and this is all of my neutral shadows, except for one big one from Makeup Forever, which is Eggplant, which one is one of my favorites. But unfortunately, Makeup Forever is not cruelty-free. I don't know if you can tell, but this one has a huge dip. I swear if I use it like 3 more times, I'd probably hit pan. That's from Makeup Forever as well. I used to be obsessed with their shadows, but these are all neutrals, and a lot of them are Morphe. And I think, I don't know who else would be in here, but I hold on to these for when I do duping palettes kind of things, and I need to bring like a neutral or 2 in. I feel like they're good to have to kind of round out things, but I don't reach for this palette very much ever. Next I have my Sugar Pill shadows, which just look like this. Pretty basic shades. I'm really excited to take these out and put them with other shadows and use them more because I kind of forget about them in this palette. And then I thought I might use this little 6-pan palette as like a travel thing to bring a few single shadows because it is very, very sturdy. So there's my Sugar Pill. All right, next I have a bunch of these palettes from ColourPop, which they used to hold 4 pans in them, but then if you like rip it out and kind of do like this whole DIY thing, then you could put, I think, up to 10 shadows or 12 shadows. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 10 shadows in here. So I did that whenever they used to include these as like free things with purchase or whatever. So first off, I have this one, which is really pretty. It's Igneous Cosmetics, is all the greens on top. And then the ones on the bottom are Colored Rain, which I really need to use this little palette more and maybe throw in one more shade and it will be kind of a complete little 10-pan palette. And then I have this one here, which is my Kristen Lee Cosmetics shades, which look like this. 3 of them are highlighters and then 1 is a duochrome. I think this is Time Loop. So those are really beautiful. And then this one is almost empty. It's just 2 shades from Menagerie Cosmetics that were in the Feral palette, but now they're not. And then this one here is my most used recently. I've got some face products from Sydney Grace, and then I've been using these 4 as like my go-to inner corner highlights. I've got Makeup Geek Shimma Shimma, Makeup Geek Voltage, Kitten Boss Cosmetics, Rhinestone Collar, and then Ghost from Amy Hearts Beauty. So I really want to do like a full palette of just like my favorite inner corner shades. I think that'd be super fun, but that's where that is, which reminds me that I have another palette like this. Alright, so I found it. It's right here. This is all of my Love Luxe Beauty single shadows, which look like this. I got 3 regular shades here. Jeez. So those are the regular shades, and then these are the Opal-lustrous pigments, which I'm not a huge fan of. I just think that they're a little bit too chunky and hard to work with. But I saw, I think it's Beauty's Bad Habit on Instagram. She put these into pots and she made them as loose shadows instead of pressed because she said it works so much better like that. So maybe I will end up trying to do that. We'll see. Maybe. I think that might be a good idea because I don't like using them the way that they are now, which is a shame because they look so beautiful. Alright, next I have a little palette from Terra Moons Cosmetics, which actually doesn't have their products in there because I have too many products from them to fit in here. So this is like a really random array. I've got some products from Kalon Cosmetics, and then this highlighter and these 4 shadows here are all from Enchanted Luster Cosmetics. Got another one of the little Itse palettes, and this one is most of my Cliona shadows. Just looks like this. Then I've got another Empty Divina palette here, which I love these ones to do like my like do-it-yourself type of palettes because they look more official when they're like all in their little spots. So this is what is left of my Perfect Grunge palette, which is only basically the green. Oh yeah, probably because I took yellows out and I did a separate yellow palette. So I've slowly like been taking things out one at a time, and this is all that I have left here. So I'll have to figure out what to do with those. Then next I have my Lethal Cosmetics shadows, which looks like this, except for the shade in the middle. That's something else. I'm missing that shade. It's somewhere else. Actually, oh, I almost forgot about that palette. So I really need to review these because I've used them a ton and overall I really enjoy them. So I plan on doing a review. And then I've got this little palette here, which is what I was using for my Natasha Nona Mini Tropic palette little thing. And that's the Lethal shadow that's missing. It worked perfectly, so those are all out of their homes right now. And then now I have my little yellow palette, although there's like some random shades that ended up in here. That's Borealis from Cliona, and I think that this is a Cliona shadow as well. So most of them are my yellow palette, which I did like a video on my yellow singles for another single shadow Saturday. I think it was the first one. So those are all there. And then I've got the Enchanted Luster Cosmetics Dragon Prism palette, which I think these will actually stay in here because I want to do a video specifically comparing these to the Divina ones that are really sparkly and duochrome. So they smell so good. Enchanted Luster Cosmetics have like a really sweet scent to them. And then this is the Divina Dirty Beautiful collection, which I just have the palette for because it was on clearance for like $5 or something. And in here, oh god. Okay, so I have the Mater Makeup Lab shadows in here, and I'm really not a big fan of these. They look so pigmented online, and I bought all of these and I was so excited about it, but they swatch horribly. I can get like okay looks out of them, but nothing compared to what I thought they were going to be. This blue here, it's obviously smashed. I broke that when I initially bought the order, and I tried to repress it, and I don't know what's in their ingredients, but it's like impossible to repress because it was awful when I repressed it, and most things you can repress and it'll be fine. So yeah, no, that's kind of definitely a regret. Out of all the indie brands I've tried, this is probably the most disappointed I've been for like quality. I just didn't, I don't know, if you can look at their swatches on their Instagram and they look crazy pigmented, so pigmented, and then you swatch them and it's like barely anything. So yeah, I just keep moving these around and I don't know what to do with them. Maybe I should just declutter them. Alright, I've got another palette from Shop Miss A here, which looks like this. This is one I just recently got. It's a little flamingo one. It's so cute. And then this is just here. These are the face products I used today. And then there's this shade, I think it's, what is it, Opalescent from Vanessa's Vanity, which Vanessa's Vanity was kind enough to send me a little package with there was 3 shades, but 2 of them I had talked about in indie makeup releases and said that I really wanted, which I'm wearing this one, Transcendence, on my cheek today, and it like goes from like green to like blue, and there's like a pink reflect in certain lighting, so it's really, really cool. So I have them in here for now. And then I have another Shop Miss A palette, which you can see like they look really nice. And this one is my Terra Moons products. Looks like this. Gigantic highlighters, which their highlighters are much smaller now. This is what I believe. Whenever I first purchased them, I bought this one. And I bought the big eyeshadows. And now they sell small eyeshadows. And they sell small highlighters. And part of this was PR. Part of it I purchased myself. But that's what it looks like. This shade right here, Lace, I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite indie highlights. All right, I've got another Adept palette here, and geez, this one is Makeup Geek for the most part. So here's all my Makeup Geek. I've got all the shadows on one side, which there's holes, which are like in other parts of my collection, and you can see that most of them are neutral because that's what I was into when I first got into Makeup Geek. And then I've got a ton of blushes from Makeup Geek, and I've got the contours. I've got the other one that I just showed you in the other palette. I got all of their blushes on like super discount because they were like supposed to be, I think they had them labeled as blemished, and they were like 60% off, 70% off, something crazy like that. So I really need to use them more. I've been using them more recently since I started Single Shadow Saturday, and I'm wearing maybe Romance on my cheeks today. I can't even remember. This one is from Vanessa's Vanity, I think. Yes, this is white gold. That's a highlighter, but everything else here is Makeup Geek. And then for the next Adept palette, this is all my shadows from Amy Hearts Beauty that are singles. So here's what they look like. I would say I bought a good portion of these because I received quite a few different things from PR from Amy Hearts Beauty, and I wanted to make an order myself. So I bought a lot of the ones up here, but there are some jewel toned ones I knew I received as PR as a certain collection. And then all the ones on the bottom, those are from their Valentine's Day collection, which I think some of them might be still available. I'm not really sure about all of them, but that was a PR thing. So I don't know. I wanted to give them a chance and try them and like just buy them myself. So those are what they look like. I haven't done a full video on the ones that I personally bought, but I've done quite a few videos on some of their shadows. And then I've got the Makeup Forever little tin palette here, which is full of ColourPop shadows. I believe, yeah, everything in here I'm pretty sure is ColourPop. And these are probably like my most unused single shadows. I just never reach for these. And maybe it's because I'm so uninspired when I look in here. I feel like the color stories, it's just boring, and there's so many warm shades. Like, can you believe how many shades ColourPop has done that are the same? And these are before they even started releasing a ton of single shadows. This was like the first batch. Now they've got like way more options, and I would love to try the ones that they have now, but I don't know if you can tell. There's just so many peachy shades, like peach galore here. This is one of the ones I really want to reorganize because I just don't get any use out of it. Alright, so now we're on to the last like really huge 3 palettes that I have. The first is the Gimme Glow extra large one. This was blemished, so I got it for like $10, and it just has my Gimme Glow shadows in there for right now, but I want to put all of my 37mm shadows together because I think that'll be really fun. So I just did a video on these, so maybe I'll link it, or maybe you can just look up Gimme Glow because there's not a lot about them on my channel because that's a very new purchase for me. And then next, let's see which one you are. Okay, this is my Divina shadows, which my plan is to organize these tonight and then do a video swatching all of them. I've got the Willy Wonka Exploders and the Galaxy Dust on the bottom, and then all the regular shadows on top, which, other than, they sent me the bottom ones and the multi-chromes, which was 5 shades, and then 3 singles which were random, but all of the other ones I purchased myself. So you can see I'm a pretty big fan of Divina. I love their coloring. I feel like they're probably the most interesting array of colors that you can get, so I think I definitely want to like put the warm tones and the pinky purple tones together and the green tones together before I go ahead and swatch them all out, but they're beautiful. And then last but not least is my Looksy palette, which looks like this. There's 2 random shades in the bottom here, which I think this one's Makeup Geek Day something, Daydreamer or something. Yeah, Daydreamer. Wow, that was good. And this is ColourPop Slim Fit. So those ones are random, but all the other ones here are from Looksy. These are 2 singles that I got with the palette that I showed you that was Looksy and Touch of Glam, but they didn't fit. They didn't look aesthetically pleasing to have 2 extras, so they ended up in here. I've got Glaze and Confused, and is this Queen of Mean or something? No, Siren of the Sea. I think I might have been recommended that one. So I've got those here, and then I've got all their highlighters and then all their shadows, which, like I said, you can see most of these are already swatched because I did a full video on this palette. Also, that was my entire single shadow collection. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!